listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's MasterChef After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's MasterChef After Show.
Hello everybody, this is Kyle Kittleson, and for those of you who caught on, we're playing Meatloaf because that is an intrinsic theme here in this episode 2 of MasterChef on Fox. The top 22 compete. To my left, and my lovely co-host, we have Traci.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we also have Steven.
Hey guys, good to be back.
So we have a bigger house than last time. Last time it was just you and me, Steven.
Sorry guys.
So it's nice to get a female take in here
Yes.
with everything going on. Lots happened, a lot of dramatic moments surrounding Meatloaf. So pretty much a very typical show of MasterChef. So we're going to talk about their mini challenge, their main challenge, who got eliminated, who won. We're really starting to see the chefs either come into their own or flounder away. And I use flounder because that is a fish and you can cook it, and that is funny because this is a cooking show.
Makes sense.
Perfect.
It
yeah.
works.
But this is when we really start to see who's really good and who's going to need some help. And we also get to learn about a lot of the different people that we still haven't met. It's amazing that you can watch an hour show and not meet all the contestants. So again, meet a food. That's funny because this is a show about
Contestants.
We'll be here all night.
yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, so let's get right into it and talk about their mini challenge, which was all about baking. This was their first challenge. Traci, what did you think about that?
I thought it was interesting. I think it definitely is a great way to weed out people who aren't strong bakers, for sure. So I thought
that'd be a way to do it.
Well,
give them a baking challenge,
and then the ones who are horrible,
and that's
gotta go.
Yeah, right.
All right. So the thing that I thought was most interesting about that was they called out Cutter for using the MasterChef logo.
And why is that bad?
I don't know.
I think they wouldn't have minded if the dish was good.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're putting the MasterChef logo on something that sucks. That's probably not okay.
It was his biscotti, right? They didn't like how he's supposed to bake it twice.
Right, because we learned, or at least I learned, biscotti means cooked twice cooked, right? Yeah. So what I liked about the mini challenge and what we'll continually see throughout the season is that this is a mystery box. So the contestants don't know what they're getting. They just get it. Then they're told to make whatever it is, and they have to go do it. And again, showing who has it and who doesn't. This is it. I mean, most people, especially home cooks, they plan out their menu.
Right.
And they go to the grocery store and they plan out what they're going to do, and then they make it happen. This case, it's like, guess what? You got strawberries, bananas, chocolate, and some honey. Good luck.
They gave them a good amount.
No, they did.
Like that was a good assortment of stuff to make anything baked goods with.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have even done things that you didn't even require baking.
Well, and when Astrid, I think it was Astrid who said, oh, "I've never baked anything."
Yeah, she's like, I'm not a baker.
You've been a lot. I'm not a baker, but I've baked at one thing.
You baked brownies.
Yeah, I baked some brownies before. I mean, there were 4 steps, but I did it.
You've put egg and flour with milk and put it in the oven before.
Right.
I mean, you've done that. How do you, I mean, my whole thing with her, like, seeing those lemon bars, I don't know if we're getting to that yet.
Oh, we're getting it. You just said it.
Yeah, those
we're
lemon
into
bars, like, come on, it looked like sushi on a plate. Like,
it's like she had these lemon bars that clearly were not cooked and just put powdered sugar over it and said maybe that will confuse the judges.
and I think it's important to remember presentation is so important when you're doing this, like how you're plating everything.
Yes.
Like, come on, guys.
Well, like, not even this, but just dessert in general. Like, everything is the senses, and when you see a dessert, like, that's why they bring the trays around. They used to have Italian restaurants with all the desserts on them.
Right.
You don't care how it tastes. You want to look at it and be like, I want that.
Right.
So seeing plating that is just literally a plate with powdered sugar. Like,
now, I'm not a picky eater, so if someone had put those lemon bars in front of me, I probably would have eaten them, and I probably would have said, this is pretty good.
Would you have known they were raw, do you think?
Yeah, I would have known they were raw, for sure. Yeah, I can tell just by the image. I mean, those were like
Yeah.
disgusting.
The fact that he drew the spoon across it and just like picked up dough.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing.
Done.
So, all right, between Astrid and Cutter, do you think Astrid should have been eliminated?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I definitely think Cutter, you know, he just put a lot more of like time, I feel like, and he was much more inventive with his dish with like the cappuccino pudding and the vanilla whipped cream and then the biscotti dipped in chocolate. He really used a lot of the ingredients, and I think he had a good pairing. He just kind of, they weren't impressed with what he did. But
Sure.
I do think that he, you know, had a lot of passion, and I liked what he did.
Yeah, I agree.
I do agree. I think it's mostly because of our negativity we already have from the first episode toward Astrid.
Right.
Because he kind of has a clean slate because we didn't meet him last episode. And this
Sure.
episode, we're already kind of like Astrid, like really.
And we like him because he, you know, used to jump out of helicopters and do all these courageous things. So we learned more about his story and, you know, felt some empathy and sympathy for him when he's in the bottom position. So no one's sad to see Astrid go.
No.
Let's be honest. She was just there. Thanks for coming, Astrid.
She threw food on the floor.
You threw
like,
food on the floor.
We're over it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go to a real quick commercial break, but after that, we'll talk about the main challenge and some other drama surrounding Meatloaf.
Woo!
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here, and I want to share my newest book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, with you. Basically, every woman always stops me and asks me how I lost 40 pounds, so I decided to put it all in one book. Everything I did to lose 40 pounds step by step, and how you can too, is in here. I did it with no time, no money, and no willpower, and now I'm going to show you how to do it too. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, wherever books are sold, and it's out June 3rd. So I hope you guys love it. I hope it helps you in your weight loss journey, and please, please tweet me and update me on your progress at Maria Menounos. Thanks.
Yeah, guys, so we do have the book right here.
Nice cover, Maria.
Nice
Woo!
cover.
Yeah.
Check out that stomach, right? I mean, anyone would kill for that.
Lost 40
That's a
pounds
great
and
flat
gained
stomach.
6 amazing abs.
I mean, I gotta say, like, it is a good book. I haven't read the whole thing. I'm about a third of the way through it.
So I just want to recap real quick. You're reading the Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness.
Because it
You're not a
pertains
girl.
to everybody.
That's
It
right.
really does. I mean,
Fitness
reading
does
it
not discriminate.
It's got a lot of good tips. Like I myself lost about 75 pounds.
Nice.
Like a while ago, and like if I had a lot of these tips, it probably would have helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
Like it has good kind of things to keep you on track, to kind of put you and ground you where you need to be for doing this. Plus, it has recipes and exercises and lots of pictures because I like to look at pictures as opposed to read because I'm a child.
Order it now, and then when you're finished watching the MasterChef season, you can go and start your diet. And
We can
get
send
right
one to
on
Big
it.
Willie.
We'll send one right to Big Willie.
Well, she lost 40. Oh, I'm not going to make a joke. That's too mean.
Hey.
But yeah.
Big Willie's the fan favorite.
Tuesday, June 3rd. Buy it. All
Tomorrow,
right.
yeah.
All about being healthy here.
Okay, so let's talk about the winners of the mini challenge before we get to the main challenge. The top two were Willie with his coffee bars that had, I guess, a little orange cream on there, and Courtney with her honey cake with pecans and honey.
Those what was it, pumpkin that Willie made?
It had pumpkin. It had cayenne pepper too, which I thought was really, really interesting. That's like a spicy ingredient, so I thought that was awesome. You put that
It was
in
like
there.
an orange cayenne
It wasn't
meringue on
orange.
top of a pumpkin
And maybe
spice
this
cake.
is me just being a novice food person, but I feel like those are pretty advanced ingredients too. It's not like we just put butter and sugar in a bowl, mix it up, and said, doesn't that taste good? I mean, he's using cayenne pepper in a dessert. Again, another reason I think Willie is going to be in the top 5.
Oh yeah, I mean cayenne pepper is kind of like a go-to thing. Like if you go into anyone's kitchen, you'll be able to find cayenne pepper, you'll be able to find cinnamon, and you'll be able to find salt and pepper.
Right.
So even in my cooking, I always use a lot of cinnamon. I use a lot of cayenne pepper, but to use it in a dessert is kind of new, especially even to me. Like I'm like, okay, especially when you're using a meringue where any kind of seasoning can kind of throw off the consistency of it, especially salt. So using a cayenne pepper is actually really kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'd like
it's
to taste
cayenne
it.
cool.
Cayenne cool.
Ah! I got 3 going so
I know.
far.
We're gonna have to do a
Gotta
prank
get that
on
up
this
to
show.
5 tonight. All right, so who should have won, Willie or Courtney?
You know, I think that Courtney winning was kind of a surprise to everyone. I think everyone kind of thought Willie had it in the bag. I think Willie thought he had it in the bag, but I don't know. I kind of like Courtney because I'm rooting for her as the underdog. I think we kind of all are on Team Willie and we know he's really good, but we weren't really sure about Courtney. And I think now she kind of presented herself and she made herself, you know, relevant. So
I think Courtney should have won the challenge, honestly. What Willie did was really good. It was really good.
Oh, good.
I got one.
We got 4 going.
It was really good, but at the same time, the challenge was really to make a dessert, a cohesive dessert.
Okay.
And what he really did was kind of make an appetizer dessert, like a sampler in a way.
Yes.
So I think hers was more cohesive with the strawberry compote, like everything on the plate. So it was more of a one-person dessert as opposed to when you hand you that, you feel like you've eaten 4 things as opposed to like had one.
Yes, I agree. Whether this was on purpose or not, the fact that this big guy comes out with this dainty little, snacky plate.
It was great.
But it allows the chefs to know, look, I'm not just going to bring you a huge plate of mashed potatoes and fried chicken. I can be a really elegant, crafty, like chic, modern chef and bring you really cool stuff that the foodies of the world will love.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit while we were watching, and we just have to point it out. Like, I did not notice the feminine qualities of Willie last episode.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Like,
I'm sure a lot of people didn't understand this.
Yeah, because we see his home video and he's wearing like a pink shirt. He's very effeminate. Yeah. And I didn't see this really. I don't know if it was the editing. I didn't see it at all in the first episode. Like, I could not tell. And now this episode, I mean, unless my gaydar is really off, I'm guessing that he is homosexual.
Yeah, I think your gaydar is really on.
Okay, yeah.
And I think he is gay.
I'm surprised how much it shows in this episode and how much it doesn't in the last episode. But it's kind of great because his cooking is just so amazing.
Right.
And it just kind of fits with especially that dessert he made. It's very elegant. It's very just like pinpricked desserts. I don't know.
So where is Willie from? Do we remember?
I think he's from the South.
He's from the South, yeah.
I want to say New Orleans, but I don't think
I wonder if later in his, you think from New Orleans?
I don't.
Somewhere in the South. I'm sure someone will leave a YouTube comment or tweet us and remind us. But I wonder if later in the season, because he's going a long way, if his story of growing up in the South and being gay will come out, because that's got to be a thing down there. Because it's a little harder. I went to school in Alabama for a year. Like, I understand. So I think that may be part of his story, which will be interesting for him to.
Do you think that's why they're slowly introducing it a little bit more? Because
I think so. Because I was the same with you. I had no idea it was gay first episode.
See, I knew, guys. I don't know how you did it.
She knew.
You guys are like, wait. I'm like, really? You didn't know? Like, all the colors and all the, like, not being stereotypical, but I'm just saying, I just kind of like, he gave off that vibe.
No, I'm from.
So I wasn't surprised at all.
I'm from the South, and like a good Southern home cooking, like the chefs are like that, especially like the African American chefs. They're proud of their cooking. Like, ooh, I got some collard greens. That is how we go.
Well, I was looking at the clothing.
I mean, even the clothing, like that wasn't like, this is the first.
No,
this is the first time you see somebody. I wouldn't really say that.
Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, did you know Willie was gay the first episode? Yes or no? Or when did you know Willie was gay? Or
We're
did we
slightly
just
off
spoil it for
topic,
you?
aren't we? I'm sorry.
Hey, it's Willie. It's Willie. I mean, that's
guys,
important.
let's talk. He had a huge family.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. And he was the only one. He said his mom didn't cook, his grandmother didn't cook. He was the only one who cooked. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, and we'll talk about his meatloaf dish in a little bit, but that to me is like a Willie classic, even though we're just learning about him, that type of dish. But Courtney did win. Her honey cakes won, whatever. And then she got the...
Was that intentional? Because that's 5.
That was not, but there you go. Courtney used to be a stripper. Then she got a great advantage taking into that amazing pantry that I want to shop in. Like, can we just shop there? Can I be a grocery store?
I don't want to shop in.
Oh,
I just want to take it.
I love it.
I just want to take it.
And she got to choose between meatballs, meatloaf, or a burger for the other chefs to make, and she chose meatloaf. Which I thought was the right decision. Did you guys think that was the right decision?
Everything else would have been too easy.
Yeah.
Anyone can make a burger. Anyone can make a very...
But sometimes that's the strategy. Everyone can make a burger, so if you screw up a little bit, you're screwed. Because you can't screw up burger if everyone can make it.
But they were also doing what most Americans make, what would be like the most familiar to them. I mean, not a lot of people make meatballs. I mean, maybe some do, but like it's not something they're buying those in the grocery store,
Sure.
a lot of middle America. So they're not making meatballs, but I think meatloaf is something everyone makes at a different scale. So I thought that was a great choice for her.
Yeah.
I was surprised watching, like, I honestly was kind of like face palming some of these like desserts. When I saw the couscous with the blue cheese, Like
We
even-
all did.
Even right there, like I was just like, okay, I get like lamb, like a blue cheese crusted lamb. I get that.
And see, Steven, you have a background with food. You went to school for 4 years
I
and
love
learned about
food.
this, worked in restaurants a long time. Tracy and I don't. She makes a great salad and I pour a mean bowl of cereal. But even Tracy and I were like, oh, wait, couscous and meatloaf?
I don't think that
no,
goes together.
that's not supposed to happen.
Here, let me just put some sand in my meatloaf too, you know, because I don't want it to stick together at all.
It was just like I need more things in here. So I'm just going to throw whatever I can get.
And it was very interesting because they were kind of trying to stop her along the way, but she was so confident about her dish. Like she wouldn't even, I think it was Ramsey, and she wouldn't even listen. Like she's like, nope, trying some, oh no, it was Joe. It was Joe Bastianich, and she's like, no, I'm trying something new. Go big or go home. Like she was very confident about this.
And
then
even when she went up there for her review, she goes, well, I took a risk. I go,
yeah.
well, stupid risk.
I think
you live and you learn.
A good risk that they could have taken in this challenge could have been a tofu meatloaf. I think doing a vegetarian meatloaf would have been a big risk, and that could have actually paid off very well.
Speaking of vegetarian, you know who I thought was going to be a vegetarian? Is Jamie. Jamie with 2 E's is the girl who has the bob cut type hair and the glasses, who said she was bullied as a kid.
She still might be. She's a baker.
She might be.
And she didn't have to make meatloaf.
That was my prediction last season or last episode that she was going to be a vegetarian. Yeah.
She's younger than I thought she was. Like seeing her last episode from afar, I was like, oh, she's like.
But we haven't seen much from her yet.
Just
I think
a
they're
little
saving
snippet.
her.
Yeah.
And she's a character. She has a story. I think she's going to add a lot to the whole story of MasterChef. All right, so they all cook these meatloafs. The bottom 3, we have Stephanie, we have Dan, and we have Whitney. So
Stephanie made the couscous one.
Right, we've talked about her. And Dan...
You made an Asian.
Dan made the kimchi with Brussels sprouts.
Was there bok choy in that? Did I make that up?
I think there was a little bit of bok choy, and then he had like the Asian sensation drizzle
raw
on it.
Brussels sprouts.
Guys, if there's anything you know about Brussels sprouts, is that they don't even taste good normally. So making them raw in a quick kimchi, like how do you make a quick kimchi?
I saw one, and I forget which one. Maybe Astrid tweeted that is not kimchi.
Yeah.
That is what she said. So
that looked like raw veggies
drama on Twitter
in vinegar, maybe.
Yeah. I didn't get how that was.
But he seemed pretty confident, and he followed Willie, which kind of sucked, because basically for Willie's, they're like, this is the best thing that's ever happened in the world.
Gordon tries
now,
it halfway
Dan,
through.
Please come up and present your dish. You're like, oh, God, good luck, guy.
I still think Dan's going to go far.
Really? The unemployed chef.
Because I mean, I look at his dish, and I see that it was disgusting. It was the most disgusting meatloaf Gordon Ramsay's ever had. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a blow. But I hope that brings him down, humbles him down to actually just stick with what he knows.
Yeah, go a little simpler.
Looking at the dish, it looked good. Its plating was good. The meatloaf was not dry. It was moist. It had a good drizzle over it. He used good skills to create this dish. I think he was just trying to be too cocky.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if this was any bring you down to earth moment, I think he'll go far.
Okay.
Yeah, good skills, wrong ingredients for this one, I think.
So we forgot to mention that Courtney, the other bonus she got was that she got to choose the 11 chefs that would cook meatloaf.
Right.
So she's playing it like, hey, I'm going to get all the weaker chefs and bring them along with me and then test all the strong chefs down here.
Which, how much are we loving every time she told someone they were safe from the challenge? Every single person was like, oh, thank you, because she's also saying like, you suck, I'm gonna beat you,
right,
so you can stay.
Particularly Jamie, she's like, I just really don't think you're good. So Jamie's like, thank you.
And then Francis doesn't even care. It's like Francis like, yay.
Now, which Francis? We have 2.
I'm talking about the Francis that doesn't know how to dress himself.
The Francis I don't like.
Yes.
Yeah. The Francis the other Francis performed, and he performed well. Yeah. That Francis I do like.
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing hop, skip, and a jump. So we had our mixed. But it seemed Willie didn't even want to cook. That was interesting. He just kind of felt like since he'd been her runner-up, he should have been entitled to not have to make the next dish.
And see, that is where Willie, I think, has a disadvantage, because he doesn't get that this is a game. He doesn't get that there is strategy outside of cooking in MasterChef. And he also doesn't get that this is not the South. Not everyone's going to be nice. I mean, just because you were in the top 2 does not mean that I have some, like, I owe you anything.
Right.
I think the strategy was flawed that Courtney used, though.
Yeah,
because I want to tell you this, because she took all the weakest chefs up to the top. So, like that says Gordon, she wants to compete against weak chefs. She doesn't want to push herself against strong chefs.
But she
and then,
said,
I know. And then I want to also say, okay, she gave every strong chef there a chance to make another big impression on Gordon Ramsay.
True.
Which Willie did.
yeah.
They had Gordon had 2 moments with Willie when he tried it, when he was cooking it, and when he ate it at the front.
Yep.
She should have gotten Willie up there because now Gordon likes Willie even more.
Yeah.
So all
She
it
should
did
have
was just
known.
it gave everyone a chance to get ahead of her with their cooking.
True. I can see that. I can see that. I mean, either way, I think it's always nice to have the advantage, and there'll be pros or cons to however you play it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that Courtney, the 2 people I think are going to play the game the smartest is Courtney, and I'm stalling because I can't remember the other girl's name, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth the
Those
bitch.
2. Yeah, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. That's 6.
No, I don't think she's a bitch. I think she just doesn't like rich people in Malibu, which I don't understand. But hey, go for it. But Elizabeth and Courtney, those 2 are smart. Those girls are smart, and they get how to play the game. And I also think they get what the judges are looking for.
What was the name of the guy who did the best meatloaf?
Francis.
Was that was the Francis that's
Right.
not?
Yeah.
Okay, that was Francis.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Francis.
I think he'll do pretty well too.
Yeah.
For being as young as he looks, I think he's probably 28, 29. I'm guessing around there.
Sure.
That looked pretty amazing.
Yeah, it killed it. I mean,
Yeah.
you get compliments from those 3 people, you're doing good. I don't
Right.
care who you are, how old you are.
He came out of nowhere too, right? I mean,
We didn't know who he was.
And then he won.
Yeah.
Go
They're
figure.
like, here's Francis, FYI, the winner.
So what do you think of Leslie's little outburst? Elizabeth calling Leslie out and him just like talking and being annoying.
Yeah, he that was stupid. I mean, they're all acting like they're children. And I get that this is reality TV and they're whatever, but get it together.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you don't have to argue at all in this competition because it only matters what you're bringing up on that plate.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone can be like, you're an idiot, da, 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 and you're like, thank you.
Right.
And if your dish rocks, you've said all you need to say.
Yeah.
So put it in the food. Well, okay, so Whitney got eliminated.
Yes.
Yeah, gone.
She didn't have heart. And then he let Courtney guess, and he's like, oh, you've been consistent all
I even
month."
wrote down Courtney's speech on who's being sent home because I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. Gordon's go, who do you think is going to go home? And even though that's not how he talks, but in my world, that's how he talks. Like, who do you think is going to go home? And she goes, I think the person that you're going to take home is lacking heart and love and passion. And I think that's Whitney.
You know what's
I'm
funny?
like, excuse me? You've known her for like 20 minutes.
I know.
The funny
Heart
part is,
and
though,
passion. Those are like huge characteristics.
that just sends me to Hell's Kitchen, though, because I think of Gordon like, you know, the person going home tonight, you lack heart and you lack passion, and I just think you're going home. Whitney, you're going home. Like, she said it exactly like in the words that Gordon's writers would have laid out for him.
Right.
Maybe she knows. She just knows how to do it.
Keywords.
Yeah,
We need
keywords.
heart,
Passion.
Heart.
Yeah. Creativity.
Captain Planet. I mean, sorry.
That is one thing they haven't done yet, and I'm glad, is when they describe food with adjectives that don't make sense for food. When they're just like, you know, this dish is really, really passionate and risky and bold and creative and just something that's really in like the forefront of food. I'm like, but does it taste good?
Your dish was pretentious.
Yeah, like people are pretentious.
I feel
right?
like your dish
Not
is
meatloaf.
jealous of a good meatloaf.
Yeah.
Such an arrogant meatloaf you made.
The most tweeted thing about this episode was my apologies to the meatloaf. Most tweeted quote tonight.
I liked it.
MasterChef. It was good.
Wow.
It was a good one-liner from Mr. Ramsay.
Yeah.
I love you, Gordon. You're wonderful. Yeah, so that was most tweeted by him. All
Do
right.
we think Whitney should have gotten home? Like, what do we think about that?
I think Astrid should have gone home.
She did.
Well, she did.
Are you talking about Stephanie?
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about Stephanie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dan.
I'm like,
I was like,
dude.
wait a second.
It's like first episode. Like,
No.
Yeah, I'm mixing up the...
Do we think Whitney, she should have gone home and that Stephanie should have gotten to stay?
I think couscous is unforgivable. And I think
No, but-
Stephanie should have gone home.
Yeah, I don't see that. Like, when I see...
Wait, Stephanie was couscous, right?
Stephanie
Yes,
was couscous,
Stephanie
and she
was
didn't go
couscous.
home. And I was
No.
like, what? Like, I saw that, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
But, you know, I do think that there is some truth to Courtney's little rant about, like, caring about what you're kind of... I mean, Whitney, maybe she did, but she didn't show it. Like, she stood up there and, you know, of course, like, Stephanie's bawling and crying, and, you know, this is going to ruin her dreams, and Whitney's just...
Girl, you ever have meatloaf before?
What?
Have you ever had meatloaf
Yes,
before?
of course.
Okay, if I told you to make a meatloaf, what would you use in a meatloaf?
I wouldn't be on MasterChef.
Yeah, right.
So I wouldn't have to worry about
I'm
that.
guessing couscous would not be the first thing to come
Well,
to mind.
no, it wouldn't. But at the same time, like, you're on a show where you're kind of trying to be a staple and make your name. And, you know, her pairing was absolutely wrong. But the other, I mean, she put like mangoes in her meatloaf. Can we like go back to that? Whitney had mangoes in her meatloaf. I don't know which one is not unforgivable.
It was tough. It was
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, I would probably do couscous before mangoes, to be honest.
Wait, you mean you would eat the one with couscous?
No, I would put couscous before I would bake with mangoes in
Right,
a meatloaf.
that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like, that to me was just a little,
I think you could rock a mangoes in a meatloaf if you did it right.
no way.
Gordon could do it.
Clearly Whitney
Gordon
cannot.
could do it. Clearly Whitney cannot.
Do you know that girl, anytime she's asked to make a meatloaf, and anytime she works with mangoes, she will, like, have a panic attack. Like, can you imagine walking through the grocery store seeing mangoes going, oh, $250,000? Like,
Well,
I just
good
want
thing
him to
they'll be
see
on.
Elise make a meatloaf pie.
it's gotten to ruin food for these chefs when they get kicked off.
Poor girl.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling.
You know what shouldn't ruin food for you guys though? Is going to iTunes and rating and commenting on this podcast. Go ahead and search AfterBuzz MasterChef and give us a 5-star rating and leave us a comment on how much you love us or as much as you just love Traci and hate me and Kyle. Go ahead, go for it.
Not second.
Or if you love Kyle and hate me and Traci, or if you just hate me, period. Go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know. Also, go ahead and comment on YouTube because we love the comments and we do reply to them and we do read them.
Yeah.
Shout out to people correcting us saying that Bastianovich is a restaurateur, not a chef.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Not a chef.
You're absolutely correct.
And I mean, Traci, you've met him. And
I
you've like worked with
have.
him. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I did a web segment with him in New York at his restaurant Italy, and they actually have a private kitchen there where like they take back students and they teach them and everything. So him and I cooked a little chicken involtini, and yeah, I have the video for that. It's on my website, so I'll give it a shout out at the end, and you guys can go watch it if you want. The food is amazing.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna go watch that.
Just tell
I
us the
love
website now.
Yeah.
okay, it's my name. It's www.traciPropst, TRACIPROPST.com.
Love it.
So it's on there under broadcast. Check it out.
Do it.
Well, guys, before we go, I want to make sure. Are we ready for some predictions?
Are we ready for it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's creeping in here.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I always feel like I need to take medication for this part.
Well, you probably should anyway.
Ah, very nice. Okay, Steven, what do you predict for next episode, the military episode?
I predict Courtney's going to get in trouble.
What does that mean?
I think she's going to have a bad dish.
Oh, okay. In my world, I was like, is she performing for like the guys? And like, no, because there's MasterChef. You're in trouble.
This isn't Master Stripper. They're not going to perform for 500 soldiers.
Oh my
So I got a little confused.
No,
All right, so you think Courtney's due for a bad dish?
I think she's due for a bad dish. I think
Okay.
she's going to get a little cocky from the success she's had so far. I think we're going to see some new good front runners because 2 episodes. I think it's time for a new arc with new people because we've really featured. We featured Willie a lot.
Yes,
we
he has been heavily
featured Courtney
featured.
a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see maybe Francis come a little bit more to the forefront. I want to see
Which one?
The good
Poorly
one.
dressed? The good one.
The
Okay.
good one.
The winner.
The winner.
Yeah.
I think we'll see Dan make something good next week.
Okay.
And I think Leslie's going to do something incredibly stupid.
Leslie. Yeah, I can see that.
But that's my prediction for like every episode he's on.
Right, just like just
You know, just
across
like-
the board.
yeah,
Copy and
across the
paste
board,
that
yeah.
for all your predictions.
Seriously.
Cool. All right, Traci, predictions.
Yeah, I also think we'll probably see some more action from Leslie. I think it's going to be a great episode. I think that it's awesome what they're doing. So I'm going to be very interested how they're going to handle the stress of being on scene with all these military people. And you saw the helicopters and it kind of seemed like they were in action. So I think it's actually going to be a really, really, really good episode. I'm interested in following Willie. You know, he's my #1 right now. So I want to see what he does and kind of his outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want Willie to cook for us in studio. He needs to come into the show and cook for us.
From the
Yes.
South, come to LA. It's very nice
Seriously.
here.
Yes,
The weather's
please.
beautiful. Please, I would love that. My prediction is that we're going to see more from the youngest contestant. I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan, maybe?
Yes,
Maybe it was
Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
I thought that was that's a cool story to me. Like to be the youngest guy, so you have the least amount of time working with food, more than likely. And so I would love to see his story more. And I think season or episode 3 is a great time to do that. So I think that will happen. FYI, you can follow Willie on Instagram at MC5Willie. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow them. You can follow me on Twitter at Kyle_Kittleson. Where can they reach you guys?
You can follow me on Twitter at TRACIABTV or on Instagram at TRACIPRO.
And you can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLEMIUX, or on Instagram at SRLemieux. What do you think of your girl, though? You didn't mention her. She was in the dessert competition, and she didn't even place in anything.
Well, you know what? She wasn't very memorable this episode. I thought about bringing it up. The girl we're talking about is Italy. She's from Birmingham.
No,
no.
I'm talking about the baker girl with the bob.
Oh, Jamie.
She's a baker. She's got a mixer on her leg, and she didn't make the best dessert.
Bye, Jamie.
You know what? She didn't, but she didn't bake the worst. And
she didn't put couscous in her dessert.
She didn't put couscous in it. So in my book, you're winning.
It's a couscous compote.
Yeah, couscous free. You're definitely winning. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We love talking about this show, and we can't wait to hear your feedback on YouTube and Twitter. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.